Welcome back to another issue. I'm Beastie Boy,
I'm Table.
I'm Red.
It's I, Shino Brando.
and in this issue, we bring 4 examples of times we paid for the movies, but we should have just stayed home to play the games instead.
So because Ryan Reynolds is taking a ride through a movie video game, we thought it'd be a great idea to bring you the bottom of the fucking barrel of video game movies. Starting with the eldest of this shit show, the Super Mario Brothers movie. Coming in 1993, calling this loosely based on is an overstatement. What was supposed to be weird and dark, take this in, this was supposed to be like a cyberpunk weird and dark kind of film.
Oh, I know. I was
It
there.
hit weird. Definitely hit weird.
It definitely hit weird, but missed dark by a mile.
Very much.
This came off more off-putting and drunken. It shit so bad down the mouth of moviegoers. Nintendo didn't license another property-based movie until Detective Pikachu.
Oh my god.
Bob Hoskins, who has the unfortunate pleasure of playing Mario, because they have to be the Mario Bros, so that's their last name, I guess.
Mario. Luigi
And
Mario.
John Leguizamo playing Luigi Mario. Bob was interviewed shortly after his time playing the character, and this quote sums up the whole fucking thing. The worst thing I ever did? Super Mario. It was a fucking nightmare. The whole experience was a nightmare.
Yeah, actually, it's like a fever dream, but the worst kind possible.
But Mario branded.
I was a pre-teeny Brando when this came out, and like I was a generation that was born with Nintendo. So for me, it was just like, oh shit, we're getting a Mario Brothers movie. Oh my god! And then when I sat there in this theater, because I actually went to go see this, I was like, oh my god, this is a Super Mario Brothers movie.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It was a movie painted with Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, very much.
Mario and Luigi make their appearance, but
Technically.
they don't wear red and green until like 3/4 of the way through the fucking film.
Not
That's
even like a shirt that just happens to be the right color. No.
Listen, okay. When you think of a Mario game, what's supposed to happen in that Mario game?
Hey man, you run, you jump, you eat mushrooms, you grow. Depending on what generation you're talking about, you may or may not ride a dinosaur.
You fight turtles and mushrooms.
Rescue the princess.
Right. Okay.
Goombas,
Which princess?
yeah.
Right. Which princess?
Princess Peach.
Okay. Right. What if I
No.
told you everything you guys just said doesn't happen in this fucking film?
Oh fuck, I forgot.
I would be sad.
Mario
Jesus.
never gets his girl. Never gets a girl.
Uh-huh.
Luigi gets a princess, but it's the one from Super Mario Land, Daisy.
Oh?
But she's dressed in pink.
Oh.
Bowser
The
is Koopa, who drips Icky Man, and he's
Icky
descendant of
Man.
T-Rexes.
Played by Dennis Hopper.
Icky.
Oh, that's who this is?
That's who that is.
This is correct. Oh, and by the way, most of the guns, which there's way too many of those in this fucking film,
Yep.
they are all Super Nintendo scopes.
Oh
The
my
video game
god.
accessory repainted and attached things on to make it look like weapons.
That's so funny. That's like
Oh.
low budget calling out so hard.
Dude,
Look,
it's so bad.
it's pretty standard practice to modify like a Nerf long shot and use that in movies, but they didn't even put in that much effort. Oh fuck!
They really said, let's use our own brand stuff. We don't have anything exactly.
Didn't
And
sell.
if you think Mario had a bad time on set, y'all want to hear what Luigi had to say?
Oh, John Leguizamo, let's go.
So
That to dull the pain, him and Bob would drink scotch while on set.
Correct. Those are facts.
oh god. Even they didn't want to be there.
Not
No, absolutely not.
You got that right.
Drink to forget.
Okay, so like, right? Mario and Luigi's greatest friend, their, main other companion, Yoshi, makes an appearance in this fucking film.
Uh-huh.
It's a dinosaur
this-
that doesn't do
yeah.
very much.
By this time, Super Mario World is now out on Super Nintendo. Scopes are out and everything. So they're trying to advertise as much shit as possible.
So it's a literal dinosaur?
It's a
Yes.
literal dinosaur.
Oh my fucking god.
Because, in the Mushroom Kingdom, King Koopa is not king, but voted, so President Koopa.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
It has posters in this movie. Vote for Koopa. Great,
He's an
cool,
elected official.
thanks. Mushrooms don't take place in this movie until Mario needs to put his faith in the shroom, and it absorbs a ray that was going to devolve him into a dinosaur.
Oh my god. Okay.
Fuck.
And Goombas. Goombas are in this movie.
No, they're not. They're not.
No, they're
I know what they are, but they're not really.
That's not a Goomba. Whatever that thing is, incorrect.
And Toad is one of them too, but he plays the harmonica.
He's a vagabond musician in the Koopa world, and then he gets taken away and turned into a fucking Goomba. What?
That's not a movie plot line. That's someone's shitty bard for D&D.
This movie has a Snyder cut.
Bullshit.
Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up,
I know.
Dustin.
I would believe that.
If
Stop that.
anybody wants to watch this train wreck and put themselves through this torture, an elite team has been putting together deleted scenes, and now at smbmovie.com, people have put together an HD remaster with all the deleted scenes, which is actually 25 minutes longer than the original film, called the Morton Jankel Cut.
Throw that shit out, but okay.
Martin Jangle cut. My God.
Do you want to watch another 25 minutes of that?
Apparently it solves a big plot hole with how some goop gets in the way and how Mario trips on it.
I
do
don't
recall
even
this.
care. I don't care. The whole movie's so bad. I don't care. I never want to see that movie ever again. Where fungus becomes a mucus film where you jump off it and oh man, the way they travel down pipes makes no sense. You know those mushroom platforms you could jump off and it gives you a higher bounce and every other American. Well, it's a fungus film of which they just jump off of, which is gross. It looks grody.
The bomb takes 15 minutes to go off.
They attach rockets to their fucking feet so they can become Jumpman.
You want to know what
There
else
is-
Mario does in this fucking film?
What do you do?
Mario
Go
and
ahead.
Luigi go to a club. They
Oh
go
yeah,
clubbing
yeah.
with their dates, right?
Yeah.
Mario
yeah.
doesn't end up with a date, so he runs into this woman that has a
Mm-hmm.
piece of a meteorite around her neck that they've got to steal for plot reasons. And so Mario and this lady dance and do like tangos and discos and like a whole menagerie of dancing,
Mm-hmm.
and then make out for a fair bit so he can get this meteorite. Just some random New York woman that's wearing it as a fucking necklace.
Movie is stupid.
This obviously couldn't have been for fans of the games. It's so different than just the content. But it also can't be for people who like good movies, because it's not one of those.
It was advertised in
not like-
Nintendo Power.
It was advertised everywhere. It was Mario Brothers, like, oh my god, they're getting a movie. And then that. I can tell you right now, the moment the lights came back on in that theater and every child that stepped out of that fucking cinema, we each probably made eye contact and we're like, there's no going back now, is there?
Oh shit.
Yeah, there was life before this movie, and now there's life after. So I'm glad you mentioned your theater experience, because did you know this movie's got a post-credit scene?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I
Where
know.
people from Japan come to these Mario Brothers in New York and say,
Yep.
we want to make a video game about you.
Oh.
And then they
And it-
play Super
and it's-
Mario Brothers 1.
Yeah, it's not even Mario and Luigi. It's the fucking two goons that happen to have the names of the Koopa kids, Iggy and somebody else. Man, it's fucking stupid.
That's just no.
God, I
Oh.
don't like this fucking film.
So shit.
So paid.
There's not any singular good thing about it. There's just all different things that are ass.
All of it.
This movie had
All
the
of it.
audacity to end in a way that it thought it was going to get a sequel.
Oh yeah.
I thought I
It's
had
like this is
chances.
the origin story, and now they
So-
go off to do Mario things.
Oh yeah.
Shut up.
So the year after, it's now 1994. This movie posted for a December 23rd release. That's a very special day because that's my birthday.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh my god, they're making a Street Fighter movie, and it's coming on my birthday. Cool.
I love Street
Okay.
Fighter.
I love Street
Not
Fighter to
remembering,
death.
but a year earlier he got burned by Mario.
Exactly. And I'm like, okay, I love this. They have Van Damme. Well, I mean, okay, cool. He does martial arts. I mean, like, that's all right. I guess we're working around that. It's probably going to have a bunch of actors who may do martial arts, but we don't know them. There's still hope. And then they have Raul Julia as M. Bison. And I'm like, well, okay, it's a stretch.
Yeah.
We'll see what's going on. I'll give it a chance. So I beg my mom, I'm like, Mom, come on, please. Let's, like, it's December. None of my friends care about me around this time of the year because it's really close to Christmas.
Oh my
I
god.
need someone to go see this movie with me. Please be that person that cares. And she's like, okay, but of course, let's go. So we get in the car, we go down to the cinema, we go catch this fucking movie. And here we go. Street Fighter. Basic plot. Good guys versus a terrorist organization. Sounds good, right? Sounds like you have something there, right? Here's
Right.
everything that went fucking wrong. So Van Damme plays the very American William F. Guile. Yet this man has a very thick French Belgium accent. Next, we have And I'll tell you these people by what their characters and by profession, okay? So technically, Guile's the only one they probably have correct other than maybe Cammy. Guile is a military dude. He does not run anything with like a UN or Interpol. He is just a soldier. Cammy, played by pop star Kylie Minogue. Did you know that was Kylie Minogue?
Wait, who?
I barely know who that is.
Exactly. And
That's
Cammy,
her?
yes. And Cammy is literally a soldier who loses her memory, gets taken by Bison, becomes his soldier, and then she gets her memories back and goes on the run and blah, blah, blah. Interesting story plot. Here, she's just Giles' assistant.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
The redacted version. All right.
Misogyny.
Yeah. Down below, dude with green skin and orange hair. That's Blanca. If you play Street Fighter, you know he's a monster. Dude, yeah, basic story. His backstory, he is a orphan, lost from a plane crash, lands in the Amazon. It falls into some pollution because that's the story theme of the time period, right? Pollution was a thing. And so he becomes this mutated dude. In this movie, for some reason, he is also Giles' friend, Charlie Nash, who is a completely separate character in a whole different Street Fighter franchise. They're not the same person. For some reason, they are in this movie. Next, we have the guy who turns him into that creature, Dalsim. Dalsim, literally, in Street Fighter, is a yoga master who is a bum who earns no money, who just does yoga. In this movie, he is a fucking scientist kidnapped by Bison, forced to work in his laboratory, and he made Blanca, and they become best friends.
I forgot about Dalsim. I didn't even realize that was this dude.
Can I say something on
my
Blanca?
God.
What the fuck is that prosthetic?
I don't know.
Yes.
And how come the Batwoman stole the same hair and put it on her in her show?
I don't
That's
know.
not that.
Next, I'm gonna bring up Vega, who in this movie is probably the only one who's accurate, who has his claws, has his mask, is a cage fighter, and that is his background. That is correct. Just a
Just
guy.
Just a guy. Don't
Just
worry
that
about it.
guy. Yep.
Here we have this big dude with the mohawk, with the beard. He is supposed to be Zangief. He has a very Russian accent. Zangief in the games is just a wrestler with ambitions to become a politician, but of course, and he does so, but of course, in this movie, he works for the terrorist organization known as Shadow Law for some reason. Next, Balrog, whose shaven headline is very, very embarrassing.
Looking like a bunch of Vegeta.
Oh.
Fucking McDonald's looking ass. Sorry, I'm done.
You
my
have-
Looking like
Bad.
the last Avatar.
How you looking like a Pokemon Master Ball? Listen, man, Balrog. So Balrog in the games is basically clearly based off of Mike Tyson. And here's some fun stuff. So the games literally did a name switch around to avoid being sued by Mike Tyson.
Right,
Because in
right.
Japan, his character's name is really called Mike Bison. His moves are literally named after like buffalo moves, bison moves. His name is Mike Bison. That was his thing. You get the kind of motif, right? So they swapped his name with Balrog. Balrog happened to actually be Vega.
What?
Yes, Vega's name actually belongs to M. Bison in Japan. Yeah, so they did a whole switch around to not get sued by Mike Tyson. To which to this day, Mike Tyson's like, I never fucking cared.
It's not a big deal.
It's not. I really don't care. It's
He
cool.
literally was just like, I don't give a fuck.
Man's
he's
too
like, I
busy
don't
just solving mysteries than he is caring about this.
He's like, yo, they made a whole game around me. It's called Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Why do I like? I don't care.
Yeah, like it's a game.
It's a game. I don't care.
Not a big deal.
But yes, Balrog is supposed to be a boxer, and in the realm of Street Fighter, he is like one of M. Bison's main dudes. Bison has his main squad. He's got his three heavenly kings. He calls them, right. Sorry, he's got Vega, Balrog, and Sagat. Those are his main hench guys. They work for him. And then you have Bison being the head of the whole thing. In this movie, for some reason, Balrog is a news reporter who works with Chun-Li, who also happens to be a news reporter, who in the game, she's not a news reporter. She's the only fucking one who's an Interpol agent of any fucking kind.
What?
Huh?
The terrible Chun-Li movie got that right. Come on, guys.
Yes. Here, next, we have the sumo, Edmund Honda. In this movie, he's Hawaiian and a news reporter for some reason. I don't know why. In the
Is the only-
game,
Could think
He's-
of getting anyone anywhere was because they had to write a journal article about it. What?
exactly. They went to go infiltrate Bison's island because they wanted to report on him taking over the. It's so stupid. Listen, he is a sumo wrestler who's apparently a Hawaiian in this movie. In the game, he's Japanese.
Japanese, yeah.
And just a sumo wrestler. Here, it just doesn't make any sense. Next, we have DJ, who in this movie is just actively working with a terrorist organization to get paid. In the games, he is actually against the terrorist organization, and I'd rather not get caught up in any shit and just fights for money.
So
And happens to be a fucking DJ, hence the name DJ.
I'm noticing a trend
Mm-hmm.
in the characters you've started listing, but like didn't start off with first.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry, I'm gonna get there.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there. Don't worry, I'm saving all that for last. So now, here comes the fun part. So there is one Asian dude in this movie. They forced in this film, like the studio said, like this man must be in this movie for some reason. He played a character named Sawada, who doesn't even exist in any format other than this movie. He could have just been Fei Long.
So-
Man,
wait.
that'd be too-
They called him?
area.
They call Young him?
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, the best Mortal Kombat movie features that character and Cole.
I hate it. You stop that right now.
Sawada is before his time, and this guy had one line in this movie,
Mm-hmm.
and English is clearly not his strongest language, but they made him say this line, and well, it didn't go over very well, and that is Sawada. May he rest in peace. He's not dead, but in my heart he is.
Just like Cole.
Just like Cole. Exactly. And now the fun begins. So now here is Sagat. I'm sorry, his real name in this movie is Victor Sagat for some fucking reason.
They just added a new name.
They just added a fucking name, and I'm gonna get to the best parts about that too.
Listen, they could have
But
just
here's-
called him Robert. So someone
Robert-
could have gone and called him
Bob-
Bob Sagat.
So yeah, exactly. No, they call him Vic Sagat instead.
God.
And in the realm of Street Fighter, like I told you, he's one of Bison's dudes.
Mm.
And in the very first Street Fighter game, he was the very first tournament holder and boss. You're the reason why he gets a scar across his chest if you play as Ryu.
Mm-hmm.
In this movie, he is literally just a mob boss.
Wow. So like,
That just he wears suits and he happens to know Muay Thai, even though he doesn't really do any fighting.
oh, he didn't even do shit.
Nope.
He's Kingpin, is what he is.
hmm He hires two dudes
Oh,
that
no.
botch a job, and so he wants revenge on them, and they happen to be Ryu and Ken.
Duh.
Although in this movie, it's not Ryu, his name is Ryu because American, and he gave him a last name of Hoshi for some reason, which is very Japanese, but Ryu doesn't have a last name because he's a fucking orphan.
Oh.
Ryu also happens to be a fucking vagabond who literally travels the world looking for fucking fights that pay so that he can make money that way. That is his life. That is what he does. In this movie, he's a fucking gangster. With him is his best friend Ken, who in the realm of Street Fighter, the two of them met up at this one temple where they were taught the same martial arts together growing up. In this movie, he's a fucking gangster.
For no reason.
My question
For-
to the people, to you, and also the people that made this film is: how do you like sit there, play the game, and go story, and then bungle it this bad?
Oh boy. Well, here's the fun part.
It's like
The last one, Bison, played by the great Raul Julia, probably was the only accurate one, really, because he really is a terrorist boss in here, but he also spoke, like, way too much. If you catch me, they gave him too many lines, and, like, a lot of hammy lines, too. And he was great, I mean, for what he was, and it was his last role, so rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, like, god damn it, man. He was dressed nice, at least, but it wasn't really Bison. It was pretty stupid. And it's convenient how he had, like, a background effect on everybody. Like, they kept the only accurate part. Like, he has a lot of background effect on Guile and Chun-Li, which is true. And they played up in this movie, too, a whole lot. But they ruined it a whole bunch. Oh, well. Here's some of the best stuff from that film. Nothing. But, like, here's the quote.
Fucking nice bait and switch. Good stuff.
Holy
Yeah.
It's the fucking quotes. So there's one
Okay.
particular quote where Guile's getting the troops ready to go invade Bison's territory, and these guys come from Interpol headquarters, and they're like telling him they can't go, and they're like they have to go home. And so he goes in this fucking monologue speech of like, he goes, "So they now tell me that we can pack our things and go home. They say we can take all of our things, go up the river, and go home. Well, I'm not going home, going to get on my boat. I'm going to go upriver. I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard, the next bison wannabe is going to feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me? And everybody's like, yeah! And I'm like, this is so stupid. This is so stupid.
Sounds like you're from Quebec, though, Loki.
Oh.
I don't like that Sam I am.
And now, probably the best one in ever, because they gave Raul Julia the line to really ham it up as much as possible. And so, Chun-Li's background is that, of course, she'd come from a small Chinese village. She could have just been raised in Hong Kong. But
no one lives in Hong Kong. It's a fake
Right,
city full of fake
right.
people.
And so her background is that Bison came and invaded the territory that he's in right now, and part of that territory is where her village was, and it's been trampled over by Bison and his troops. And so, of course, he knew he was here for revenge because, of course, he killed her father. In the game, however, her father's an Interpol agent who's actually chasing after Bison, who gets caught and killed by Bison, and
Yeah.
Chun-Li is going to exact revenge. Not here.
Revenge and justice.
Exactly, but here he kidnaps Chun-Li, forces her to wear this fucking gown you're seeing that she's wearing right now, which is not even accurate to the fucking costume in the game at
No.
all. Nope.
If you were going to nail one thing from the game, it's like the characters need to look like this.
And he gave her bondage chains, by the way,
Oh no.
with spikes on them. Yeah, of which she breaks apart, and that's where she gets the spike bracelet from the video game. But that's so stupid. Anyways, he's holding there with a monologue, wearing this fucking robe.
I'm just not over. Why couldn't she just wear bracelets? People wear bracelets.
And then he goes on to go and monologue by saying, "For you, the day Bison graced your village was the most important day in your life. But for me, it was Tuesday."
Oh,
That's where that quote comes from.
That's where that quote comes from.
yeah. That's the original one.
Oh my god.
Street Fighter
Juicy.
movie. And the end fight where Bison gets psycho power out of nowhere and empowers his boots to do his moves. Van Damme's been very known for doing a lot of splits and flip kicks. And so because Guile has one flip kick, they decide, hey, in the last fight, how about you abuse that for like 4 scenes? And he does like 4 or 5 of these fucking kicks. And it's just like, Christ, we get it, bro. We get it. And so he ends Bison's life there, and then he has the nerve to say, because Bison has all these TVs around him and shit, there's all these monitors, and the fucking dude has the nerve to say, "You're off the air," and everything explodes. I'm like, this is so dumb, so dumb. And I hate Street Fighter the movie. That's Street Fighter the fucking movie, guys. I sat there through that whole thing back in '94. I paid for it. My mom had to soothe my broken heart with McDonald's.
But wait, I got 2 questions.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
My first question is, did that help?
It did help after. I had tears. She was like, "Today you're a big boy. We're getting you a double Big Mac because that's gonna soothe your soul today." And I'm like, "Thank you, Mom. You understand my pain. You get it."
It really feels like they were given a huge cast to work with, but they only knew how to write 3 characters, really.
They only focused on Van Damme. 'Cause
Lobster,
Listen, Van Damme.
soldier, and journalist. That's all. That's all they got.
Van Damme decided that it needed to focus on Van Damme.
God.
Oh, fuck. But speaking of things that you have to pay for,
Mhm.
Doom 2005.
Oh.
So I watched this for the first time a few months back on Netflix for no more money than I already pay for Netflix. And in preparation for this episode, I was like, I'll watch it again to refamiliarize myself. It'll be great. I'll drink a little juice. It'll be fun. They removed it from Netflix. And I went, damn, I guess I'll have to go through every streaming service to find it. Do you want to know where I found it?
Oh,
Where?
God, where?
I found it on Amazon Prime,
Oh,
but
shit.
not included with Amazon Prime.
I'm so
Behind
sorry.
one of their like 7,000 paywalls. I would have had to pay $4 to watch this movie. I need you to know this is not a $4 movie. This is an I already have a subscription that gives me this movie. Sure, movie.
I'll have you know that you could find that at a local like pharmacy for $2 on DVD, and then
I do believe that.
I'll tell
And
you,
if
it's
you're-
in the Dollarama.
yeah, and then you can throw it out when you're done. Nobody would be mad at you.
No one would be mad at me.
It would be just as green energy of you to not
And-
burn anybody else's electricity watching that movie.
Holy shit.
The crazy thing about Doom 2005, right? not only, did they decide to make a movie based on a game franchise that famously barely has a story or characters, but the cast involved. Now, I'm not going to pretend it's all star-studded, but you have Carl Urban, Rosamund Pike, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson involved. We also get an appearance from Doug Jones because there's funny-looking monsters, and, he's very good at that.
Of course.
But, those are... Sure, Dwayne Johnson wasn't a big name at the time. I mean, take a look at some of the pictures I've sent. He's still very clearly the Pebble. Thanks, BC, for the joke I'm stealing.
Wait.
He's just not as big as we now know the man to be.
Very much not. Yeah.
Carl Urban? Seriously?
Oh shit.
Rosamund Pike? Rosamund Pike of Gone Girl? Is
Y'all
this where
really-
they started?
Y'all really got sucked in this project, huh?
So, if you're looking for a cheap alien ripoff with some elements of a zombie flick, this is still a bad version of that. But that's what this is. Where if you want a Doom video game movie, I'm afraid to say such a thing still doesn't exist. So, good fucking luck. Watch a Let's Play of Doom Eternal or something. Have fun with that.
There you go.
This movie can't fucking decide who its protagonist is. It's kinda John Grimm, Carl Urban's character. It's kind of the kid, played by Al Weaver. I'm not kidding, by the way. That character does not get a more descriptive name than the kid. He is one step above rookie. Sometimes it thinks Sarge, Dwayne Johnson's character, is, the main character until about 3/4 of the way through the movie when he turns into a frothing psychopath, at which point he becomes an antagonist.
That's
Because-
the twist.
Actual literal demons from hell aren't antagonist enough.
What?
But that's the thing. They're actually not even demons?
Sorry. Wait, can we back up the truck just 2 seconds?
Uh-huh.
The Pebble Man himself starts to froth in the mouth and go psychopath and wants to eat it with a nice plate of glass of Chianti.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I was gonna say, when you look at The Rock, you figure him to be Doomslayer, but he's not.
Yeah. You look at him and you go,
Doom guy.
That's Doom Guy.
you look at The Rock and you go, that could be Doom Guy. But no one's Doom Guy in this movie. There isn't a Doom Guy. There just isn't. And
There's just the guy.
I don't get it. There's a protagonist. He doesn't have a good name. He's got a name. You call him Doom Guy.
so they get one thing right, sort of. This does take place on Mars, but they get to Mars through weird wormhole teleportation technology. And that becomes a whole plot point later that they gotta protect the portal or whatever so that the demon things can't get to Earth. But also, this is around the time where The Rock goes batshit because he's like, what if we just kill everyone here except for me because I'm the coolest? And you're like, whoa, that seems like an escalation of tactics.
And also, you're right.
and they
You
try-
are the coolest.
And they try to foreshadow it with him being kind of okay with civilians getting injured if that's the price to pay to contain this. But honestly, he's just being reasonable. He's just being a pragmatic, reasonable guy who understands the stakes right up until he's all for the death of innocents for no reason whatsoever. He goes from, if they die, they die, to, I will personally kill everyone here, get fucked. And you're like, whoa, Dwayne.
Well,
You need a Snickers, Dwayne? You good?
You need a Jungle Cruise after that to calm yourself?
Everything they set up sucks. The BFG, quote unquote, that they set up is garbage and stupid and couldn't take down a normal imp in Doom regularly. They call their weird zombie things imps, but they just look like ropey flesh monsters.
yeah, hate it.
They're so ugly.
Yeah.
Because this came out in 2005, right?
Yep.
Which means people were getting very excited about the capacity for CG. And they kind of combined CG and practical effects, which is a strategy, but they were bad at both of them.
Oh, holy shit. Okay.
Man.
So you're just like, what kind of garbage am I about to look at? Shino did a fantastic job of walking us through the Street Fighter cast and why every piece of it was garbage. But for this movie, they just give us the most generic military special ops squad you've ever heard of. Names like Duke, Portman, Sarge, Mac. I've actually forgotten those names as I said them.
Wait.
I swear to God, you just gave me the cast of G.I. Joe. I swear to God.
I was just about to say, he's G.I. Joe too.
It
Yeah,
sounds like the cast almost like red versus blue, almost just simple
Like what?
names.
These are names you could get your 3-year-old to spell, and maybe that was the intention, because
we were trying
just
to
like
get
with Super Mario Bros., this thing has no target audience. The coolest thing this entire movie does is the sequence at the end, which to get to, they have to jump through so many idiot hoops that they're basically just wearing a giant tower of them because they got stuck on their head because they're fucking stupid. The movie kind of ends with John Grimm sort of dying and then not dying because he gets a second life. And he picks up the gun and goes off on a rampage through the base, and it's now in first person. It looks kind of reminiscent of the game, sort of. And that's the coolest sequence because it's kind of like the video game, but it's stupid. It doesn't make sense with the movie. Why is this a thing that can happen? What the fuck is going on? Does he just drop dead at the end? Why is The Rock very, very hard to kill? He takes so much time to kill, despite, again, literal demons should be antagonist enough.
So what I'm hearing is this movie needed to get smart.
This movie needed to go back to the pitch, Back to the Future style, and just prevent the people from having sex and agreeing to this. I don't know, because that's the only thing that I can think of that would have made this happen.
Instead of going on an intelligence rampage.
I went to go see this movie in theaters because I had that streak. And I tell you right now, coming out of that cinema, I must have seen the same faces I must have seen way back in '93 at Super Mario Brothers. And we deadlocked each other in the eyes and we're like, you know what, man? Well, it's a fucking movie. It's a fucking movie. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's something, right?
It's got a beginning, middle, and end. It's got 3 acts.
Right? I mean, we've been through so much bullshit. Remember Mortal Kombat? We're here now. Okay, never mind. Anyways.
It's a shitty sci-fi movie. But shitty sci-fi movies are a genre that some people enjoy. It's just this has nothing to do with Doom. It borrows like 2 concepts, maybe 2.
You put plot in my shooty thing. Aww.
Yeah, but this is trying to take all the shooty out of the shooty and just plot. But there wasn't any plot in Doom. There just wasn't. They could have done anything. They could have done anything. And this is what they went with? Seriously?
They
don't even have a Doom guy.
Nope.
Not even a Doom guy.
I'll tell you right now that The Rock was banking on this movie to get him into Hollywood and get him out of wrestling. And I'll tell you right now, this movie brought him back to wrestling for just a little bit longer.
Oh
shit.
Sorry, The Rock.
No, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But you know what other things we could have enjoyed?
What's that?
The possible Assassin's Creed movie.
Oh god.
What if I told you it was like only 1% enjoyable?
1%?
I believe that.
1%.
That's
Like,
better than Mario Brothers that it's at 0.
I'm like lowballing it, but I'm realistic. I probably like enjoyed 10% of it. That's about it. Everything else, ass. You want to know why? I'm gonna tell you. Because so here's the thing. This movie, Assassin's Creed, got released in 2016, and also I just sent you some new information. So people that are listening in, strap fucking in, because
you say strap in or strap
on? Exactly. So the Assassin's Creed movie was released in 2016. It's about the original franchise, the Assassin's Creed games, based on assassins versus Templars. It was produced by a big team of people, just it was directed by Justin Cruzel and written by some other people like Michael Leslie, Adam Cooper, Bill College, and the main character that we get, who's called Callum, actor was Michael Fassbender. He produced this movie too.
Michael,
fucking produced this movie.
Mr. Fassbender, this was a mistake.
No. What they did was they gave him a producing credit. He didn't stand behind the camera and go, this one.
I hope not, because he did a lot of research into this movie, apparently.
They gave him a credit because he liked the video game. Like they did Steel and Shaq.
No.
But this movie was, what's the term I'm looking for? Doo-doo? Ass? Because when I was watching this, I was like, okay, this is something. It's going somewhere. And literally, I believe it's like maybe the first. I think the intro into the whole movie is basically just like young Callum sees his dad literally murder his mom, or just walks into the scene of it.
Okay,
and it's just like, oh, what the fuck happened? You don't get the context why, but if Assassin's Creed wise, if you know what happens, basically, I think she was technically a Templar, or I think it was vice versa. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
Fast forward, lineage wise of the whole who he's connected to isn't even anybody in the actual game.
They just made some guy up. Great.
Literally, Callum is made up because he's not in the fucking game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm seeing? I'm noticing a trend of fucking OCs everywhere.
Because Hollywood literally is just like, Nobody's gonna know who these people are from these original franchises. We gotta make an original character.
But-
Hollywood, shut the fuck up. We know these
But-
people.
Look, Desmond Miles is objectively bland as hell. I will not argue that point with people.
But I will still enjoy it
This
better.
was their chance to characterize him. He is a blank slate. They could have just used Desmond Miles and do a better job.
He speaks
No.
facts.
You know what,
Because my
24
man's vanilla anyway, so you might as well add, cinnamon on top. Like,
There you go.
Yeah, but Fox said fuck that. Let's make Callum.
Yeah.
Whoever the fuck that is. Nonetheless, let's continue on. Anyways, because of this movie being weirdly due to Ask and continuously making OC characters for no reason. So they bring Callum, right? Like they bring him to the main area of like the Abstergo building or whatever. Basically supposed to be, this research center to help and develop future technology and all that stuff and relive the past, basically under the Templar order. So they do this, right? They bring him, and like the doctor that's talking with him, character is Sophia Ricken, which is daughter under Dr. Alan Ricken, which is played by Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons is in this movie for some reason.
Poor,
Jeremy Irons, get out of this movie.
they
He's
dragged
in
poor
here.
Jeremy Irons to this movie. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Good old Alfred,
Like-
good old Scar, like,
I'm also noticing trend that these movies keep dragging like name actors into this fucking mess. Why?
they fucking aggressively did it so weird. It's not even done how they do it with the actual like chair or even proper machine. What if I told you they fucking matrix him, but from like the fucking spine?
I seen an image of that and I was just like,
Right?
oh man.
It's fucking weird. So they're like, oh, okay, we're gonna hook you up. Just get used to it and understand, like, sync in with your ancestor. And it's like, what the fuck? And you pull this man in. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. And you're saying, relax and connect. Shut.
Chill, it'll be fine.
Yeah, like it's a relaxed situation. Like he volunteered for this. Fuck no. Continuing on though, the ancestor is a randomly made up one from the Spanish, I believe, Inquisition or
But of course, why not? It's always the Spanish Inquisition.
nobody suspects the Spanish Inquisition.
sorry, it's from the assassin in 15th century Spain, which the name was Aguilar de Nera or Nera, which
Excellent, nailed it. Yeah.
sure they brought him in. I guess make your own assassin for some reason.
OCs.
I'm not mad about it, but at the same time, it's so weird.
OCs.
I'm not mad about that. Like it's just weird how they brought the whole Callum thing. Nonetheless, other points of this movie that are weird is just like the forcefulness of like the whole Abstergo situation. Sophia trying to be the most chillest doctor of like compared to like Lucy in the video game, which was
Yeah, Lucy was actually a bitch.
yeah.
If you replay, she's just mean to you.
Yeah.
In like practically the first game, like she's being a whole dick. Which later on she's like, oh well, technically I'll get you out and all that stuff. Yada game. You gotta play it. The weird references that I found in this movie that I just didn't even realize that were the proper references for the games were the different actors that you throughout the little scenes here and there. So Musa, as he's known in the game, that Callum talks to during the lunch sequences and all that stuff. He's supposed to be the version of this Assassin's Creed character in Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. So like a side quest.
The DLC,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, side DLC, yeah. Which I was like, oh, I didn't know that was an actual character that they pulled reference of because I didn't play the DLC, so I was like, oh, that's new. Next one is this other dude, Nathan, a descendant of Duncan Walpole from Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I never fucking seen this dude.
Isn't Duncan the guy you fucking murder at the beginning of the game and steal his clothes?
I think so. I don't know.
I honestly, what if I told you I couldn't care less because I couldn't remember him? Black Flag, I didn't enjoy. It was there, and I was like, okay,
He's
fuck
alive
it.
for 30 seconds.
Like,
I think I remember playing that game and I was like, yo, let me be done with these ships because I was not a fan of the whole ship aspect in like 3 or 4.
I also hated the boats.
Yes,
Hell
thank
yeah.
you. Exactly. Going on, Lin, who is mentioned in Into the Animus book, a descendant of Shang from Assassin's Creed Embers and Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. So there was like these mini Assassin's Creed games that Ubisoft made. That's who the character's supposed to be representing.
Probably
They-
one
That's
of
like
them
the side scroller one, right?
Yeah, one
Yeah.
of them was probably on the PSP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so PSP and then like other consoles for them as well too. Weird loosely like mentioned, if you didn't like know who she was, you didn't understand why she was there, which my brain was like, oh, it's another assassin, cool. All right. And then this last one, Emir, which he's in Assassin's Creed Revelations. Revelations was really good. I liked it. This dude, not saying that he doesn't look like him, but like they just loosely pulled reference to him. It's supposed to
Also, Yusuf
be
fucking dies, and I don't think he had a family, so that's weird.
yeah, so he's supposed to be the descendant of Yusuf Tazim in Revelations. he doesn't even have any close reference to him because he doesn't look like him, and it pains me because I'm like, who are you? Why are you here? These are like reference pulls from the games that they did, and they were like, oh, maybe these guys will know. But instead, no, they'd rather do the minor references, pull in Callum, who the fuck that is, and just be, hey, this is Assassin's Creed. And it was fucking weird. And I don't know why they did that, but it was done.
Well,
I hate it.
I'm happy that's the one film I did not pay for.
Yeah, I didn't pay for it either. Netflix brought it up, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's Assassin's Creed movie." I didn't watch it. I shouldn't have watched it. And as I mentioned to my co-host beforehand, if there was a chance to ever watch this movie again and watch like per se specifically the Mark Wahlberg versions of Transformers, give me Transformers, please. I'd rather watch that.
Yeah, I hope in our discussion of these movies and going over just the absolute dumpster fires that all of these are. Sorry, I had to correct myself.
Yeah.
It is, in fact, all. We hope you enjoyed it. Beastie, if they want to hear us talk about, like, just roast more things, what can they do?
Well, they can see this red button that's on our page and just, hit it, which is basically subscribing to our channel, so they can tune in every Wednesday to hear us more roastings. And also, they can tune us on Twitch, streaming live on Mondays and Thursdays on twitch.tv/NerdCrusade. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for updates and join our Crusader chat on Discord by checking our link tree in the description. And you can download any previous episodes or listen on your mobile device through anchor.fm or search Nerd Crusade on your favorite podcast app. Thanks for joining us. And until next time, fellow Crusaders,
we all failed at the game of life, and that's to be continued.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, go ahead and mash a thumbs up. If you want to swing by when we have a new video, web up the sub button. Oh, and while you're at it, hit the bell to be notified by.